The National Green Tribunal today directly criticized the Sri Ravi Shankar-led Art of Living NGO, which appears to be openly taking on the Supreme Court-led body looking into last year's controversial World Culture Festival on the banks of the Yamuna in Delhi.
The provocation. The NGT can never get over the blot brought on itself by delaying natural justice to art of living. If at all, any fine has to be levied, it should be levied on the central and state governments and the NGT itself for giving permissions. Art of Living Chief Sri Ravi Shankar said in a statement released to the media 2 days ago. Today an angry National Green Tribunal shot back and told Art of Living, "You have no sense of responsibility. Who gave you liberty to speak whatever you want to? It is shocking." Almost a year after Art of Living organized the World Culture Festival in Delhi on the banks of the Yamuna, the legal battle getting uglier. As the NGT gets set to decide the extent of damage to the floodplain and who should pay for it. An expert committee set up by the National Green Tribunal says that the festival, which included a 9-acre stage and lakhs of devotees, has caused extensive damage, which will take years to fix and more than 42 crores.
What we are saying is that the committee appointed by the NGT has no sense of responsibility. They have conducted the whole investigation in a biased manner. There is no question of accusing anyone because there is no damage. So how can there be any fine to be paid?
I think in the interest of justice it is required. We will be certainly moving an application.
Art of Living says that one of the reasons why the World Culture Festival was held on the banks of the Yamuna was to put focus on the plight of one of India's most polluted rivers. But the legal battle has now turned ugly. And it's going to be up to the NGT to decide just who's responsible for the damage and who's going to end up paying for it. In New Delhi, Siddharth Pandey for NDTV.
All right, well, what's going to happen next? We've seen this war of words, and is there actually going to be a resolution to this dispute? Joining us now, Anand Arya, he's the petitioner in this case. Mr. Arya, thanks very much for being with us, and Prasanna Prabhu, spokesperson of the Art of Living. Mr. Prabhu, let me come to you first. Sri Ravi Shankar said just a few days back the National Green Tribunal can never get over the blot brought on itself by delaying natural justice to the art of living. If at all any fine has to be levied, it should be levied on the central and state governments and the NGT itself for not giving permissions. What is the point in Sri Ravi Shankar or the Art of Living in taking on a Supreme Court appointed body?
You must understand that there's a lot of injustice that has happened. And it is every individual and organization's right to protest for any injustice that actually happens. Please understand that all permissions that were required for the event to happen were sought. Only after these permissions were acquired did work begin. We could have always been told not to continue in that venue. We would have not done the event there. But because those permissions were given to us, we went out there, we did the event, and we made India proud. After all this, if somebody is going to tell us that arbitrary number of 120 crores without any authentication, no scientific basis, completely biased, obviously this is injustice and we must fight against injustice.
I would urge you to be careful, Mr. Prabhu. You are talking about a Supreme Court appointed body, you are talking about a judge, you are talking about the National Green Tribunal. I don't think it's correct that you should accuse them of being arbitrary. You put yourself up for potential legal action over there. I would urge you to be a bit careful in how you phrase this. But let me ask...
please understand that there is a committee which has given a report. This report is leaked to the media even before we get to argue about it. Tell me who is responsible.
But the point that the Supreme Court has said is you have no sense, the NGT has said, you have no sense of responsibility. Who gave you liberty to speak whatever you want to? It is shocking. And yet you believe you want to take on this plan.
Let me put in a point here. This is misreported. This is not how it actually happened. There were a few points that were brought out by the petitioner today and all of them were rejected. The 5 crores that was paid by us, the petitioner said they should be allowed to use it for the development of the Yamuna. It was rejected. Every point that the petitioner brought about today in court was rejected. Please understand. This is not factual what you're saying in the report.
This quote by the National Green Tribunal and the Justice Vatantar Kumar is inaccurate?
Yeah, I'm telling you what exactly happened in the court today. The petitioner said that there is 5 crores, we should be allowed to use it for the betterment of Yamuna. It was rejected. They also, let me be very clear about it. They also asked for the matter to be heard.
No, but you have no sense of responsibility.
They said
Who
no.
gave you liberty to speak whatever you want to? It is shocking, is what the National Green Tribunal said. And it seems to be a direct reference to what Sri Sri said a couple of days back.
Please understand, we are a very, very responsible organization. Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar is world renowned. He is not going to shoot his mouth off just like that. He measures every word that he says.
So the NGT can never get over the blot brought on itself by delaying natural justice is a responsible statement.
No, please understand, in 2010, we were the ones who conducted an entire campaign called Meri Delhi, Meri Yamuna. Thousands and thousands of volunteers participated. We removed 500 tons of garbage from the Yamuna Ji. This is responsibility that we have taken, making sure that Yamuna Ji is clean. This is our responsibility that we chose to do. Nobody told us to do it.
Okay, Prasanna Prabhu, come in over here.
Someone is to say that we are irresponsible, that's not fair.
Prasanna Prabhu, I mean, I beg your pardon, Anand Arya, come in over here. The point that's being mentioned is that, you know, these allegations are incorrect. There has not been any substantial damage to the floodplain of the Yamuna.
No, there is a very, very significant damage. The experts are renowned in their field of expertise. I mean, and they know exactly what ecology is, what biodiversity is, what the river is, and what the river floodplains are, and what are their importance. Now, 4 people, when they gave this report, and it was only on that basis that the, you know, okay, let me put it this way. The NGT NGT disallowed our prayer that this be shifted. And this was done because they used the word fait accompli. Because by that time, so much of construction had taken place that the damage had already been done. If the judgment which was delivered by the NGT on the 9th of March is to be read properly, then this function was to go ahead only after an undertaking had been given by AOL that they accept to pay the rupees 5 crore fine or the environment compensation which was retermed later.
Yes.
And then whatever will be the damages, the cost of that will be decided by the NGT in due course of time between the DDA and AOL. Now, the question is the damage. Damage is,
yeah, I'll come to you.
The report
I'll come to you, Mr. Prabhu. Let him finish his point.
And you know, the ecology and biodiversity has been completely destroyed. This is the conclusion of the 7-member committee. Now, the question of bias does not arise at all, because initially there was one professor, then 3 more experts were there, including, and then one secretary to the Government of India was inducted into it. So the report came in by 4 people.
Okay. And
later on, to assess exactly what is the damage, 2 more experts were done, and one of them was in fact suggested by Neeri's name was suggested by the by AOL itself.
Okay.
And then today it's a unanimous
Mr. Arya, lots of
report
points.
of 6
Prasanna Prabhu wants to reply to some of them. Mr. Prabhu, go ahead with the points. You disagree with what's being said, go ahead.
See, yeah, I completely disagree, because please understand how this survey actually happened. In a 45-minute walk that was taken at the venue, it was decided that there is a damage of 120 crores. Arbitrary, completely arbitrary, no scientific proof. Also, with respect to compaction, the technical bit that I'm getting into right now, it is sand and it cannot be compacted, and there has been no measurements that have been taken before the event and after the event, and even till date, as we speak, there is no scientific report that is placed on record to show the compaction that has happened at the venue. Also understanding that there are huge discrepancies and inconsistencies even within the committee itself. There were 120 crores was slapped on us, and the chairman of the committee himself said in a note that he doesn't agree with this. There is complete inconsistency. Also, they said that there was not enough deliberation. There is not enough discussion that happened within the committee. The Neeri gentleman came in. I have proof to that effect. Please understand that we are not saying this. There is injustice
Vishnu,
just out of the. There is
Vishnu,
serious
try
issues
to-
which
Arya, one
shows
second.
that.
Mr. Arya,
Also,
half a
please
second.
understand.
Said is
Just
not
1 minute.
correct.
Let me complete, please. Please let me complete, please. See, this is how the venue was when we took it over. It was full of rubble, construction, chemical waste, full of it. We are the ones who cleaned it. We brought it up to the DDA. DDA said, you can please clear it at your, and we have this in writing. And we cleaned it up. We made it really, really squeaky. And after we left, after the event got over, we handled it in a very, very clean and beautiful manner. And after we left, this is what has happened there. Look at the amount of chemical waste that has been dumped. Why is nobody crying and foul about this? Why is nobody taking any action about this? Why is everybody targeting the Art of Living, which has done such good work? We have rejuvenated 27 rivers.
Okay.
We are very, very responsible people.
Okay.
We know what
Anand
we are doing.
Arya, we are running
have
out of
done
time.
everything that we have to do.
Mr. Arya, lots of points being mentioned by Mr. Prabhu over there. The essential point
you
is there's
see,
been no damage.
I think,
Go ahead.
this is a very selective method of saying it. Almost, they look at the reports of the committee, which is very detailed with all the images of the Google, where they have calculated the area.
Absolutely not. I would like to come in here, please.
You must be let him make his point. Yeah.
And
you must let me come in though.
so this is 200 hectares of the area has been compacted, and you saw it that it practically after August 2016 there were no rain, and till today the water is standing there. And if it was sand, then there were no question of the water standing there for all this time, and the breeding of the mosquitoes to take place. Now look at it; it has been completely
Vishnu,
flattened. Look at the report of the
I'd like to come
experts,
in.
which they say that so much of wetland has been destroyed, so much of reed beds have been done, so much of road has been constructed. Now, what material is used? I think it's a compaction. To my mind, is a very, very mild this thing. Actually, the kind of rubble that has been used. I mean, how can you carry a 30-ton worth of truck on a on a sand bed?
All
no,
right.
you can't.
Okay,
Just
Mr.
look
Arya,
at the,
Mr. Prabhu, we
7
are out
acres,
of
as
time.
they say, the stage was.
I would like to get in one point here. Please understand, Mr. Arya just said that there was a lot of proof and all that was given. This is what the committee put up. One picture of Google Maps. We have given, for the last 20 years, every year, we have given Google Map pictures.
Okay,
which
Mr.
shows
Prabhu,
that
you have to understand that
after the
every
rain, there
program
was
has a
we
finite
also-
period
one
of
more
time.
minute.
Sir,
I'm
we have
trying
seen
to be
all the
very
Google
even
images of the
in
previous
giving
years.
both of you as
You
much
don't
as
have to
possible the
do
same
all
amount
this
of time
and
in
this thing on a
speaking.
selective basis.
But we need to-
Even today, if you
Mr.
just
Arya,
look on the
one
other
moment,
side
Mr. Arya,
of
Mr.
the
Arya, we
D&D,
need to
even
end
as
this
you
now.
can see
Ultimately,
the
this is
amount
going to
of,
be decided by the
the
National Green
kind
Tribunal.
of
Let us see what finally
floodplain
happens
which has
over
been
here.
completely
It's a
destroyed. I mean,
complicated
you can
argument,
see
but hopefully
the difference
the
on the right
sanctity
and the
of the
left of
National
the
Green
D&D.
Tribunal at the very least can be maintained. That's all the time we have. Thanks very much for being with us.